Cheeseheads, get on your feet. It's Curd and Long. Hosted by Sparky, Fifer, and Ryan Horvat.
Welcome into another edition of Curd and Long. That's right. Sparky and Ryan are here with you. You can check out interviews I do over at 1250 AM, thefan.com. Latest one up there right now. Dave Gasper from Reviewing the Brew, talking about the Brandon Woodruff and Sanchez signings. If you want to check that out. Plus, we talk about what the rotation may look like for the Brewers coming up on opening day. Ryan Horvat is here as well, co-host of BetMGM Tonight. Him and Trista Crick and Nick Ashu weeknights on your BetQL radio stations or stream it on Odyssey. Follow him on Twitter at Ryan Horvat. How are we on a Friday, Ryan Horvat?
I'm doing great. Doing really great because I'm going on vacation. That means 2 weeks of not having to pretend about the NBA because I do not care about the NBA regular season. The playoffs, sure. Like we know in the East, it's Boston, it's Milwaukee. Maybe the Knicks are going to be a tough out, and then Cleveland's playing really good basketball.
Right.
In the West, like I love OKC, I love Minnesota, but I think it's going to come down to Denver and the Clippers as long as they stay healthy. So, like, I don't care about the regular season, man. Nobody cares. That All-Star game, by the way, was the worst thing. I was sitting here just bitching about it. My wife's like, you say this every year, and I said, you're right, and I just turned it off in the third quarter. I just didn't watch the end of it, and I didn't even go back and watch it on the DVR. So I'm excited for 2 weeks off. Last night, though, this week I'm doing the shows with PJ Glasser. And I like doing the shows with him because, you know, we'll just talk college football. Like last night I talked Utah football and their move to the Big 12. Man, I think 66-1 for them to win the national championship's a good price. So probably going to talk some college football tonight and avoid the NBA. But I'm excited for vacation because I'm going back home. And, for like 5 days. That'll be nice.
Back to the Midwest for Ryan Horvat.
I need it.
Well, I don't know when you're coming back. What day are you coming back? Are you coming back like Sunday or Saturday?
I was going to come back Saturday. Now we're going to come back on Monday, though, because my wife has a friend that was already going to be in town, and she wanted to do this brunch thing, and you know how it goes. So Monday.
Well, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday in this area, we're supposed to be in the 50s, around 60 for Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. And then after that, we drag back down into the 30s and 40s. But at least Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday will be nice. Okay, so got some good news. If you are a fan of a team that has salary cap issues, you just got a little bit of cap relief. As the NFL announced today that the 2024 salary cap will be $255.4 million per club, with an additional $74 million per club payment for player benefits, which includes performance-based pay and benefits for retired players. Total 2024 player costs will be $329.4 million per club, or more than $10.5 billion league-wide. It's so much money; it just makes your head spin. Now, having said that, a lot of people, when they were kind of projecting out, right, with these rosters as far as who's going to be over and who's going to be under, a lot of people were projecting this thing to be at like 242, 243. For it to come in at 255.4, Ryan Horvat, might save a player or two on a roster across the NFL. They may have been told, you're out of here. We got to cut you. We got to move on. And what it does for the Packers now, you know, who does that change things for? I think Jordan Love, you know, is rubbing his hands even more together like, this is a $30 million jump in salary cap, which means y'all got more money to pay me now at the end of the day. I had said before, I thought somewhere around $45 million with this type of jump that we're talking about. Maybe he does get to $50 million a year, Ryan Horvat.
You think guys like Joe Burrow are kind of pissed right now that they didn't wait 1 year to get paid? But no, great news for guys like Jordan Love, Dak Prescott, who already it looked like was going to reset the market. All these guys, to be honest with you. CJ Stroud, they're probably going to get something done with him pretty early, I would assume. We'll see how Anthony Richardson plays this year. I think he's going to have a really good year because I think Shane Steichen's the real deal. This is huge news for the quarterbacks. And like you said, for the teams other than the Saints are probably still negative, to be honest, even with this news.
Yeah.
But for a team like Green Bay, this is huge. Also, a team like Chicago, this is pretty big. Obviously, they had a bunch of
more cap flexibility. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, that's the thing is it's good, but also, I mean, it's good for keeping your own guys, really, for a lot of these teams. You know what I mean? Like the Kansas City Chiefs, especially, because everybody's been talking about with the Chiefs, like, they need to bring in Mike Evans. They need to bring in one of these top wide receivers, Stephon Diggs. I don't think the Chiefs need to do that because they traded away a top 10 wide receiver in Tyreek Hill and won 2 straight Super Bowls. But I do think this is big for them because now they probably use the franchise tag on either Chris Jones or L'Jarius Sneed, and they're probably going to be able to keep both of those guys because that defense is the reason that they won the Super Bowl. For Green Bay, this is big, like you said, for Jordan Love, but also who else do you really have to take care of right now? Because Bakhtiari is most likely gone. I don't know what's going on with Jair. I assume Jair is back. Why the hell?
Back.
I was going to say that IG stuff I didn't really care about. I mean, there was like those reports that Kenny Clark could be a cap casualty. 0% chance that happens because you don't have anybody above replacement level to replace him right now.
Aaron Jones, you got to figure out what you're going to do there.
Yeah, but like the Packers don't really attack in free agency, and you don't really win Super Bowls by attacking in free agency. You know what I mean? Like good organizations win because of what they do in the draft. Like, yeah, you pay a couple guys. Like if there's a pass rusher, I would love that. I would love now that they're going to have a little bit of money other than taking care of Jordan Love to fix up that secondary.
Safety.
I don't want. I know like people were all excited about the Pro Football Focus grade for Darnell Savage in the playoffs. Like, come on, man. Watch the last 3 seasons, and use your eye test. Like, he's not the guy. Owens isn't the guy. You need some solid safety play because in the playoffs, because the Packers are going to be a playoff team, look at the tight ends you're going to see. George Kittle, Sam Laporta. You know what I mean? Like, look why San Francisco beat Green Bay. They took away the middle stuff because Dre Greenlaw had those 2 interceptions. We could use another linebacker. There's a lot that the Packers could go after. So this is good news. Yeah, this is good news. And it's well-deserved. Like, let's be honest. The NFL's making a killing, not only with all the new network deals, streaming deals, the gambling stuff. I mean, I'm hosting a betting show. You know, the money's pumping in. I know that they can't be associated with it, but the league's making a killing off of it. And then the pandemic year, that they're getting recouped for a little bit here too. So I'm happy because also really quick, let me say one thing. This also proves that the salary cap is a myth. There were people like unfollowing me when I made that argument. I mean, it was a thing. That's why Tyreek Hill wasn't a Chief and Devontae wasn't a Packer. But I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's pretty good news.
All right. So also out today now is the 5th-year option type money that we have for some of these different guys and how much it's going to cost. 5th-year option for Trevor Lawrence is $25.6 million. Zach Wilson, he's not going to be any longer. $22.4 million. That's not happening. Trey Lance, Cowboys, $22.4 million. That's not happening. Mac Jones, $25.664 like Trevor Lawrence. Justin Fields, $25.664 for the Bears as well. So we know Trevor Lawrence isn't going anywhere. That's going to get taken care of one way or the other.
You know that? He's not going anywhere. Mac Jones, don't know about that either, but I can't justify paying him that much money. Justin Fields is interesting, I feel like, because if you're going to trade Justin Fields, you have to pick it up, don't you? I mean, you have to pick up the 5th-year option if you're going to trade Justin Fields. You can't trade him without that option being picked up. Does that maybe, I don't know, you tell me, does it help or hurt his value if he's got that 5th year at 25.664, or would the team rather not have that 5th year and make up its own mind and then offer him a contract after that last year of his deal? See, that's why I kind of want to see what happens here, man, to be honest with you, because
he's not going to be there.
Is Atlanta or are the Steelers or the Raiders, are they really going to trade away a 1st-round pick or an early round 2nd pick when you could?
Second, I think.
Yeah. I mean, we had people come on the show this week and say that Atlanta was considering giving up their 1st-round pick for Justin.
That should have been done already. The Bears should have said deal. That should have been done.
Exactly. That's exactly my response to this guy. And it's the season where I believe like 3 people. Like, let's be honest, man. And so what I was thinking here is, if you're Atlanta, why wouldn't you try to move up and get, I don't know, Michael Penix, Bo Nix? They're going to be cheaper than Justin Fields. And if you have a new coaching staff coming in already, then you like Justin Fields. I like him a lot. You have to believe that you could fix Justin Fields, because I do think that there's some stuff that you have to fix with him, right? Or maybe he just really does need a better offensive line and better weapons. We'll see.
Read a defense would be a good start.
That's where he goes. But I don't know if you draft like Penix or Bo Nix or JJ McCarthy. I'm not really high on those guys, but I don't think you're going to be able to get the top 3 guys. then you get to kind of like coach them up right away, and they're cheaper, and you could spend more money in free agency with all this cap space. I don't like the trading for the veteran quarterback, man. I'm always team draft a quarterback, even if he's a project. And if he stinks now in this year, or it stinks now in the league, in these times, you just get rid of him the next year. Like, remember the Cardinals thought they had their guy in Josh Rosen. The next year, they just moved on to Kyler Murray. I mean, it sucks, but you got to find a quarterback. That's the way that I would do it. I don't really want a guy that's 25, 26, and has a couple of years. And
I think if I'm Atlanta, I'd rather have Kirk Cousins than trying to develop some rookie quarterback, regardless of who that guy is. Because if you get Kirk Cousins in free agency, now you're at 9, and you're able to get, Malik Neighbors, let's say, at 9 to put with Drake London and Kyle Pitts and Bijan Robinson, that offense is going to be silly good. I mean, really, really good. And you've already got defensive pieces over there that you can continue to add to throughout the rest of the draft without having to give up draft capital to get a Justin Fields and not knowing what you're having. Because there's a lot of people that believe that dude's like a 1-2, read guy, and that's it. That's where it stops. And then after that, he struggles. So if that's the case, why are you rolling the dice and giving up draft capital when you know there's a guy that can play at a decent level? Now, is he all-pro? No, Cousins isn't all-pro, but he doesn't suck. We know that. He's going to give them an opportunity to be in the playoffs and compete for the next 3 or 4 years, and then, go from there. That if I'm Atlanta, that's what I'm doing. Open up the purse strings. Here you go. What do you need, Kirk, to get this done? His wife's from Atlanta. There's a connection there already for Kirk Cousins. Makes all the sense in the world. Now, isn't Fields from Atlanta? Did I read that? Isn't Justin Fields from that area too, I think?
Yeah, remember he went to Georgia for a year, but they started Jake Fromm.
Right, and then he went to Ohio State. Right. So, I mean, there's a connection there too with Fields. If I'm Atlanta, I'd rather do that. But there's also this talk about Pittsburgh and Russell Wilson possibly, that there may be a connection there. So let's say that happens. If Cousins goes there and Russell Wilson goes to Pittsburgh, where does Justin Fields end up then? Do they just keep him?
No.
And have him with whoever they draft at 1?
No, somebody will want Justin Fields, man. The Raiders, I mean, if it's not the Steelers and if it's not Atlanta, it'll be a team like the Raiders. I mean, they gave all that money to Jimmy Garoppolo, man. Like, the Raiders never do the smart thing.
But they're out now. They don't have to pay him jack crap now that he got suspended.
Well, yeah, which is the funniest story ever. Really quick, going back to Kirk Cousins, that's a good point, man. Why he's, other than Chris Jones, I think he's the top free agent. I do think Kirk Cousins is all pro level. I think Kirk Cousins is a really awesome quarterback. Like, if you look at, again, like the PFF numbers, they have him number 2. I mean, the concern is obviously he's coming off the Achilles injury, but like from a clean pocket, he has a 91.1 rating. They compare his top free agent comparison to Phillip Rivers in 2020. And I was always a Phillip Rivers guy. I know that you probably weren't when he was the Colts quarterback.
It was over by that point. Yeah.
But dude, Cousins in that offense with Kyle Pitts and Drake London, I think Minnesota, I was like, they should just rebuild and blow it up and draft like J.J. McCarthy or Penix. You know what I mean? Yep. But I don't know, man. I think they should bring Cousins back, to be honest with you, because that defense, all of a sudden, that was a huge issue a couple of years ago in the playoffs that allowed Daniel Jones to throw for like 350, was top 10 with Brian Flores taking over. And then you still have Justin Jefferson. Jordan Addison's an absolute stud. TJ Hawkinson. And the NFC sucks. I mean, yeah, like Green Bay turned it on the second half of the season, but I don't know. I would want to try to win in Minnesota. You've never won a Super Bowl. Do you really want to begin another rebuild? Or and what if the guy you draft, like what if you draft J.J. McCarthy, who they keep, it's either them or the Broncos most likely that do, or Penix, and he sucks. And then you piss off JJ, and then he wants out, and then you lose the best receiver in the league. You know what I mean? I know like him and Cousins weren't always on the first page, but I think he's come out and said he wants Cousins back. I'd probably see if Cousins would do something short term. He probably won't, though, because he's going to get some crazy ass offers from these teams like Atlanta. Atlanta would be a perfect fit. You know what I would love to see? I got to be honest. I know everybody loves Brock Purdy. I thought Brock Purdy was pretty good in the Super Bowl, but I think Kirk Cousins could win a Super Bowl if he was with Kyle Shanahan and he was the quarterback of the Niners.
I agree.
I sometimes think that the hate for Kirk is unnecessary. Not quite like Matthew Stafford, because Matthew Stafford's freaking awesome. You just have to protect him. But they're kind of the same guy, right? Like off play action and from a clean pocket, they're both really good quarterbacks. Under pressure, they both stink. That's why people forget how good Aaron Rodgers was. But anyway, I digress.
He worked in a Rodgers thing. See, every podcast he gets Aaron Rodgers' name mentioned every podcast.
I can't wait to watch him play football again. I don't care. Like, don't you miss watching Aaron Rodgers play football?
No, it didn't bother me at all last year. Didn't miss him at all. No.
And you guys are like cold-blooded.
Didn't bother me at all. No, never thought about it.
I would hate to be like the best man. And do you talk to the best man or your best friend from grade school anymore? Probably not.
No.
Hate him.
No, that's not true. No. I got two. The one helped me with the Pinewood Derby car for Jackson, and we won the whole thing. And then the other one, I talked to, I don't know, probably 5-6 times a year. We always text each other happy birthday and stuff. But I mean, we're talking like first grade. I mean, I don't know how many people are still really tight with people from first grade.
Me.
That's a long time.
My three best friends since kindergarten, actually.
Yeah, that's pretty rare. I don't think that's common.
Well, my dad always says too.
Yeah, that's pretty rare.
Hey, one last thing though. With Aaron Rodgers, I'm excited to watch him play football this season. But let me add this in there for another football team, for the Jets, because he's 40 years old. And he's coming off a pretty devastating injury. I'm all in on the Jordan Love Express. I don't want anybody to get it twisted. I bet the Packers in the Super Bowl 25-1. I feel good about it. But yeah, man, I want to watch her. I would love for like Brady to come out of retirement, Peyton.
No.
I cheer for greatness. Unlike
you don't like change.
Media is just a bunch of haters. No, I don't like change. I'm team old.
That's
guy.
What it is. You just don't like change. It has nothing to do with rooting for greatness. You just like change.
I feel old. Like when I'm watching dude, Caleb Williams was born in like 1998, Spark. Like Kurt Cobain was already dead. You know what I mean? Like Jordan these kids now that are getting drafted, like they're all team LeBron because they never saw Jordan. They only see these YouTube clips. And if you just watch 90s NBA on YouTube, I mean, man, does that look like, garbage, straight trash. But when you lived in the 90s, 90s ball was better. Guys played every night. There were back-to-backs even in the playoffs. Anyway, we're getting too far. Let's get back on task. I apologize.
You're just getting old. I'm just listening to you age in front of me. I mean, that's all that's happening. You're aging. And your poor kid is going to hear all this crap like every other parent does to their kid. You don't know what it was like back in my day.
He does that to me. He always does it. Back in my day. I'm like, dude, I'm the youngest dad. And
So funny. All right. I want to get to some of these comments made by Packers head coach Matt LaFleur and the defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley as well. We'll do that after this on Curd and Long. Download it on your Odyssey app, wherever you download your favorite podcast at. Check us out on the Odyssey Sports YouTube page. You can like us, follow us, subscribe to us, hit the bell for notifications, all that fun stuff. Back after this. Back on Curd and Long, 1250 AM, thefan.com. You can find all the interviews that I do there. You can follow my guy, Ryan Horvat, right over there at Ryan Horvat on Twitter. And, of course, check out his show, BetMGM Tonight, weeknights, part of the BetQL radio network. While the games are going on, he'll give you some advice on what to bet on the upcoming West Coast games, some in-game betting advice as well. And it's him. It's Trista Crick and Nick Ashu. Check it out. Highly, highly entertaining. Turn down the sound on the TV of the game you're watching and listen to these guys, and you'll laugh while you're watching your game. All right, let's talk about Matt LaFleur and some of the comments that he made, and also some of the stuff that we heard coming out from the new defensive coordinator. Now, I will just say a couple of different things here. You see, when you hear LaFleur and you really hear Hafley, they seem very similar to me, right? They seem very similar. They're both very detail-oriented, very players first. So I'll adjust to the players. I'll do what the players want. Very, very similar people. And they know each other, but they don't know each other, right? He never worked for Matt. He worked for everybody that Matt's related to or Matt has been really good friends with over the course of time at the pro level. So they have all of these connections, but they've never worked together. But I don't see this being an issue, to be honest with you, Horvat, because they sound damn near close to identical when you hear them both talk.
Yeah, for sure, man. And I was in Vegas when they made the hire, I believe, because I wasn't on the pod, but I love this hire, to be honest. And I think we're going to see more of this in the National Football League. I like that he was at the college level, to be honest, because, and I know a lot of these like old school guys, I saw it was Kurt Warner was bitching and complaining about college football and how hard it is now to evaluate these quarterbacks. Even
I saw that tweet. I saw that tweet as far as the college systems and a lot of what they run doesn't translate to the NFL as far as being able to translate. And he used Stroud as his example of saying what we saw on tape from Stroud at Ohio State, you never would have known he would have been able to do in the NFL once he got put in that same situation, because you're not asked to do in college what you're asked to do in the NFL. I don't know. I don't think it was a crazy take.
No, I mean, what I'm saying is I don't think these old fogies have been watching the league the last couple of years and seeing that like a lot of these like college offenses and systems are coming to the National Football League. And I mean, now like Kingsbury was just in college football. Now he's back. Matt Rule was no good, but they brought him in. They tried the Chip Kelly experience. But like sometimes some of this stuff works if you have the right personnel. You know what I mean? Like Anthony Richardson. Okay, there's a good example. I didn't know if he was going to be able to succeed in the league, but he found himself.
Still don't know.
With Shane Steichen, dude, if Gardner Minshew is taking a team to the playoffs, I don't know how you feel about him. I think he's one of the biggest jokes in the league. So Anthony Richardson, if he slides and gets out of bounds, man. He's got a great arm. And what I love about him is he's a good dude and he wants to learn. We laugh at that stuff, but like him hanging around the cafeteria after they made a huge mess at the rookie combine to help clean
it all up.
I like that stuff from my quarterback, man. That's a guy that is going to command respect in the huddle. He's a leader. He's not going to be out screwing around, as I always say to my son, but in other words. And yeah, I just I like that about him, man. And everybody's always said he wants to learn. If you want to learn, then there's a spot for you. And like Johnny Manziel might have ended up being an all-pro. He was small, but he was doing cocaine. He just was he did a really good interview with Sharp. But I really, going back to Hafley, I love this because he's seen all the college offenses. He's led a locker room so he could lead the defense. He's a fiery dude. Like, this is what we were asking for. I didn't need it to be a well-known name. I don't know that Rex Ryan could come in and coach a defense anymore, man. And I also don't know that, like, Jair and those guys want to play for a weirdo like that. But I think they're going to want to play for a guy like this. So I'm really excited. I don't care that him and LaFleur haven't worked together. That's probably a good thing, to be honest, because that's the other thing that people don't realize is sometimes a DC could help an OC and an OC could help a DC, or a DC could just help individual players on the offensive side of the ball too, just with things that they've seen, and I think this will be a good pairing. I really do. I'm really excited for the Packers. I think they have a legit shot to win the Super Bowl. And I say that because everybody's already penciling in the Niners. They're the favorites to win it, even over the Chiefs. But I don't know that they're going to stay healthy, and who knows if Brock Purdy is going to be the guy that he was last year. I'm pretty confident that as long as LaFleur is the play caller that he was the second half of the season, that Jordan Love will be the quarterback that he was the second half of the season. They also have to have a strong run game, though, too. And I don't think you could only rely on Aaron Jones if you are bringing him back. I know you don't want to see like a Blake Corum power type back. That's fine. Then give me like a Bucky Irving, but give me another back. Give me another back in this draft.
Agreed.
I don't know. I will say this on A.J. Dillon. He loves being a Green Bay Packer. He'd probably come back on the cheap. And he ran pretty hard. After we all ripped him like the second half of the season, A.J. Dillon was pretty damn good. I wouldn't hate A.J. coming back at a hometown discount. Like, dude, you want to be the mayor of Door County, this is the way to do it. Like, you're making like $75K a year.
I don't make that much. Okay. But again, they need to find Aaron's replacement. That's what I'm looking for. So, and Bucky Irving is that, and I think he is.
There's a bunch of needs for that, yeah.
Right. I mean, I would love to see that happen. All right. So some of the stuff LaFleur said, this from Tom Silverstein of the Milwaukee Journal. Sentinel LaFleur said there was a lot of thought in making the change. A defensive coordinator said he has a ton of respect for Joe Barry and what he gave the team, quote, but sometimes you have to make tough decisions, end quote, according to Matt LaFleur. LaFleur said Hafley is bringing a different scheme, the 4-3, but, quote, it will be easy for us to adjust to, end quote. Said he felt he had to have the right players to make the change to the new system. Said he interviewed some, quote, really good football coaches along the way. LaFleur said they will be a little bit more vision-based in the secondary, which he says should lead to more turnovers. He wants his defense to be aggressive. Do you agree that they have the personnel to run this 4-3 that they are going to switch to?
Currently?
Yep.
Not in the secondary yet. But they can after the draft. That's why I think that they might have to do that because, I mean, I know that they want to play more press man coverage, which everybody's excited about. And I like Jair, but who's the DB? Who's the other corner?
Valentine. You know I mean? It's going to have to be as of right now.
Yeah, I'd like to upgrade there. I mean, he could still get on the field and get some playing time, but I want more guys. You need more depth. I mean, we all talked about that last season going into the year, that we wanted more depth at the DB position, at the safety position. Because again, like going back to Kansas City, I'm going to keep using them as my example because they just won the Super Bowl and I love Steve Spagnuolo. And I would love if, that's what we're getting right now in Hafley. But like, if you want to play that aggressive, because that's what we all want, right? We want the man coverage. We definitely don't want dudes playing 10 yards off the line of scrimmage, playing soft zone.
No.
You don't win like that in the NFL anymore. But yeah, like look at what the Ravens do, but it's with guys like Marlon Humphrey, but they draft depth because he's hurt every year. They draft a safety like Kyle Hamilton. Everybody's always like, oh, you can't take a safety in the first round. I don't know about that. Kyle Hamilton's freaking awesome because then you could match him up with these tight ends like Travis Kelce and Sam Laporta and Hawkinson and stuff. So not yet, but I do think that that's the way to go. They were much better when they did play man coverage, put it that way. Even, the last couple of weeks of the season when they were only playing it primarily on third downs and they got more aggressive. So maybe they do. We just haven't seen it. But I think they do need to upgrade on the defensive side of the ball. That's why I don't want to hear about moving up for a receiver or anything like that this year. Like that should have been like the last 6 years. This is a great class. We could get one in the third or fourth round. Early rounds, I think you need more pieces on the defense for your new coordinator because the offense clicked the second half of the season, and the offense isn't the reason that they lost to San Francisco, other than the 2 stupid turnovers from Love.
Another one from Silverstein on LaFleur. LaFleur said the scheme, meaning defense, wasn't as important to him with the Hafley hire as style of play. He said the hallmark of the 49ers, Jets, and Texans defenses, all similar to what Hafley will run, is they are physical and relentless. Quote, it just comes down to that style, end quote. My comeback to that is, you have to have the guys that are play with that type of intensity that, are on all the time when they're on the football field and not on, 6 to 8 times in the course of a game when they decide they want to rush the quarterback. I mean, you're asking for guys to be on all the time. You're asking for linebackers to want to hit somebody and chase after and destroy somebody. You're asking for safeties and corners to want to tackle, Jair. That's what you're asking for. You're asking for that type of player. Now, the question is, was this type of play, lack of physical play, because of Joe Barry? Come on. This lack of physical play was because of the dudes on the field not wanting to be physical. That's who, to me, that's who it's on. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe when we see these same dudes out there next year under Hafley, maybe they'll look like a Ravens defense. Maybe they'll look like a Jets defense. Maybe that's how they'll look. And if they do, God help Joe Barry, because I'm going to lose my mind. But I don't think it's going to change. I don't. Like, this physical, nasty type play that you're asking for, I think you either have that in you or you don't. I don't think that's something that all of a sudden, boop, presto, now you're a mean, nasty player. Like, I don't buy that at all. But we'll see. What do you say, Ryan?
One thing I missed, did anybody ask what the hell happened to Rashawn Gary the second half of the season to anybody? To any of the coaches or to Rashawn Gary in his exit interview? Did he even do one? I somehow missed this. I'm not being like a smart ass or anything.
No, I don't think I saw anything.
Man, I don't know. I love Rashawn Gary, but I don't want to say what I think.
But again, I mean, he's going to have his hand in the dirt. So this is, I'm assuming he's going to have his hand in the dirt, right? Preston Smith, Lucas Van Ness, those guys all will have hand in dirt in this defense is how this is going to play.
Preston Smith's coming back again?
I would think so.
Yeah, man, we need some young.
He's a big physical guy. I mean, why wouldn't he be?
No, he had a good year too, but I want young speedsters who could get after the quarterback. You got to upgrade in the secondary. That's why trading back might not be a bad idea. And I know everybody will get pissed off on draft night. I mean, you want as many pieces as you could get to fix on that defense. You really do. But I don't know, man. I mean, some guys that were no-name guys did step on that field last year, step up and make some plays. And the Packers do play with some attitude. Anytime you hear any of these other players, like the St. Brown's podcast, they were talking about this.
Trash talking them, yeah.
Yeah. But the problem with Green Bay is they're tough guys when the ball sails over the wide receiver's head and they're doing their sword dance and whatnot. But where are they when a guy's running right up the middle or a tight end's running a crossing route and Jair's just making business decisions all over the place?
Yep.
And Savage cannot tackle. That's the thing. His coverage grade may have been fine in the playoffs, but he cannot tackle to save his life, man. And that's been the Packers' problem literally since I've been born. You know what I mean? They've never been able to tackle Other than Reggie and Clay for like 2 years before this, before he started getting hurt all the time. Yeah. I mean, they've never, like, 1 year, I don't know. They never have any guys. The evaluation of talent on the defensive side of the ball has always been awful. Yes, they could find wide receivers. We've done a great job with 3 Hall of Fame quarterbacks. Yeah, maybe 4 now with Jordan Love.
Offensive line has been pretty good.
Offensive line, always awesome. This is like my high school. This is like Joliet Catholic. Always great offensive line play, great running backs. Never any kids that could play the secondary. They always got a bunch of white dudes trying to play in the secondary. You don't win like that unless you're Iowa now all of a sudden. But that's the Packers just never have the dudes, and hopefully that changes now. Like, Goot needs to get on his stuff though. Van Ness looked like a player at times last year. I'm kind of excited for him year 2, and I think he'll work his ass off. With Kenny Clark, I just think we always know what we're going to get with Kenny Clark. There'll be a couple games during the season, probably divisional games against the Bears and the Vikings, where he'll be a beast. But then when we play in the big games, we'll be like, oh, Kenny Clark played. Rashawn Gary, he'll have a 3-sack game, and we'll all be like, hell yeah, Rashawn Gary, defensive player of the week. Oh, man, he's emotional in the locker room. We love him. But then against the Niners, we'll be like, did Rashawn Gary play? Where the hell was he? Got to get some like we said last year. We say this every year that we do this, though. Big, mean, tough, fat, SEC, Big 12 type guys. That's what you need.
Well, that's what they did. They got Devontae White and they got Quay Walker. I think that was part of the process of why they got both those guys. And Wyatt played okay this year. He wasn't horrible.
I like Wyatt.
Carl Brooks, they drafted him. He played well this year. He made his presence felt throughout the course of the year, especially in the second half of the year. Wooden, it was another guy that they drafted, and he played okay. So, I mean, I don't know. But again, I'm with you. I just think it's the dudes. I don't know if it's coaching, but I guess we'll find out if we're wrong or not. All right, some of the comments made by Jeff Hafley here as well. Hafley said the vision-based defense he'll play includes a lot of press man coverage by the corners, but he said it won't be all they do. So they're going to make it simple for the players so they can play fast, similar to what Richard Sherman said back when he was with the Niners at press conference that went viral. And then it also says, even though the 49ers defense, according from Tom Silverstein, isn't as a pressure scheme, Hafley said people will see some exotic looks and pressures on certain downs and distances. He worked in the Rex Ryan defense under Mike Pettin in Cleveland and learned a lot about pressure. So we have a mix of the Niner-style Vic Fangio defense and the Rex Ryan defense combined into one. So this is probably not going to be looking exactly like the Jets or the Texans or the Niners. Like, this is probably going to be its own type of scheme with a couple to be simple for the guys. Horvat, I swear to God, every year we go, oh, well, we're going to have to dumb down the playbook because they can't figure it out. So we're going to have to simplify it. Every year at some point in the year, we hear, well, we're going to simplify the defense to make it easier for these guys. I swear to you, every year I've heard this. So if we can avoid that, and instead of waiting till the second half for them to play fast, if we can have that from week 1 all through the season, that would be an added bonus as well.
Yeah. I mean, exactly. Because that's the thing. There might not be time for like this adjustment period if you think that this team is going to be a playoff team. So hopefully they're able to, simplify everything, get in there and get everything, nice and squared away going into the season. I don't want another slow start to the year this year.
Great.
You're not going to be able to rattle off like 5 wins every single season. That's what they've done the last 2 years, though. They've got off to these slow starts, even with Rodgers and then last year with Love. But that's the thing. I do think like this all sounds great. All these quotes sound great, but it's like you said, it all comes down to, do they have the personnel? Are they going to be able to just fix this thing in 1 year, or is this going to be like a 2 to 3 year thing?
Don't know, but make sure you get a Super Bowl out of Jordan Love before the year is done, please. Okay, let's move on. Third topic coming up, a mock draft Friday. Ryan Horvat will be the one doing the mock draft this week. I'll do a mock draft next week. And then we do this every week. We take our turns every week doing mock drafts. It's my favorite time of the year is mock draft season. So Ryan Horvat will do that coming up next year. Curd and Long. Download it on your Odyssey app, your favorite, wherever you'll download your favorite podcast at, Spotify, Apple, whatever the case may be. Also, Odyssey's YouTube, sports YouTube page. You can stream us live there. Like, subscribe, follow, all that fun stuff. Back after this. Hey, it's Sparky Fifer, 1250 AM The Fan, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Check out the interviews I do over at 1250amthefan.com. Ryan Horvat, co-host of BetMGM Tonight. Trista Crick, Nick Ashu on the BetQL Radio Network weeknights. While the games are going on, you listen to these guys. They tell you, in-game betting advice, tell you what games to bet on after the games. Maybe look ahead to the weekend on a Friday night, kind of the games they like coming up on the weekend, all that good stuff. Follow Ryan Horvat on Twitter at Ryan Horvat. Follow me at Sparky Radio. All right, Ryan, Mock Draft Friday, baby. Our first ones with you and me. Are you using Pro Football Focus or are you using Pro Football Network?
I'll switch off every mock. Today I'm going to use PFF. That way we could get some different looks because I've done a couple of these. I'm really excited for this draft, man, because I think a lot can happen. And I'm sold, obviously, that Caleb Williams is going number 1 overall to Chicago. But after that, I have no idea. Is Drake May going to be in D.C. or is it going to be Jaden Daniels? Either way, I'm going to have to get to some games because I love both of those guys. Anyway, here we go. Packers picking number 25. I enter the draft, and we start the draft. And Caleb Williams goes 1. Drake May goes number 2. Marvin Harrison, number 3 on this mock.
Do they, at Pro Football Focus, do you get a lot of trade offers once you get to your pick? Pro Football Network, the first couple of rounds, you always get a ton of trade offers when you get to your pick. Does Pro Football Focus, do you get a bunch of trade offers in that mock draft? Not as much. No. Yeah, Pro Football Network, a ton of trade offers. I always had like 2 or 3 trade offers at 25 every time.
Yeah. Here we go. All right. So best available, Troy Franklin, wide receiver out of Oregon.
No.
Your boy Mims is here. Tackle.
Like yes.
Oof, dude. JJ McCarthy. Tyler
Absolutely not.
Tyler.
Could you imagine they drafted JJ McCarthy?
You know who I'm going to draft? TJ Tampa, DB out of Iowa State. Packers fans are pissed.
He's a good one.
Yeah. I want a DB that played on the best defense in all of college football for Matt Campbell to play with Hafley. He'll be the new leader in the locker room. Him and Jair, sign me up for that.
So TJ Tampa, cornerback, first round for Ryan Horvat. Now, the nice thing is 2 second-round picks here. Next one at pick 41.
So, got some bad news. We got to call an audible because I got to go to Pro Football Network because now. Oh, you know what? No, I just got to sign in. All right, we need an audible really quick.
Horvat screwed up the mock draft. How do you screw up a mock draft?
Hold on, because Pro Football Focus changed this season. Have you ever used Pro Football Focus for the mocks, or do you use
when it was free? When it was free last year, I did.
I didn't realize it wasn't free anymore. I have luckily I pay, so I just have to sign into my account.
They decided people going on their website to use their mock draft simulator wasn't making them any money, so they stopped. Pro Football Network is free in general, so you don't have to pay.
All right, so hold on. My bad.
That's why I was wondering if you were paying for Pro Football Focus, you can do the full mock draft and you don't have any issues. Yeah. But I can give you that's why I was wondering. Yeah.
All right.
So I know Horvat has it because he quotes numbers from Pro Football Focus every week on this show. So I know how that works.
I have to go back and look what happened here. Jaden Daniels is on the board.
At 25?
Yes.
You should have like 10 teams trying to trade up to get Jaden Daniels if that's the case. Well, obviously they're not taking Jaden Daniels.
Jordan Love, it's been fun, buddy.
No chance. No way. No chance.
Yesterday. Lad McConkey's here.
No.
Mims is here. This is why I'm hot. This is why I'm hot. I'm going. Your boy Keon Coleman's here, Spark.
Yeah, he's gonna be there, I think.
Robinson's here. Ooh, I love
that wide receiver out of LSU. Is he there too, Brian Thomas?
He is not. Bo Nix is here. Gone. Ooh, Eddie Mitchell's here from Texas. I like him a lot. You know what we're gonna do? We're sticking with TJ Tampa, who's still here. I was excited about it. Sorry, Packers fans. It's happening again. Round 2, pick 9. Bo Nix is still here, but guess what?
What?
Chop Robinson's still here. So is Keon Coleman.
You could have had Chop Robinson at 25 and still got TJ Tampa at 41, I bet.
We're getting Chop Robinson right now in the second round. Sure. We got TJ Tampa and Chop Robinson. Woo! Oops, wake the neighbors for that.
And helping the defense. That's what this is about.
Oh, my God. Jonathan Brooks is here, running back out of Texas, Spark.
With your second pick in the second round?
Javon Bullard's safety is also here, and so is Ed
Georgia. Yep. Linebacker.
Jalen McMillan is still here. You know what? There's going to be wide receivers still available. That's what this is telling me. Bullard, you're a Green Bay Packer. We got our safety, too. As Aaron Rodgers once said, we got a defense.
So you passed on Brooks to take the safety out of Georgia?
Yeah.
Okay. Just clarify.
You know why? Because guess who I'm taking, Spark, here, round 3, pick 25. Spencer Rattler's available. Damn. I'm going to take a guy that's going to make you a little upset. Oh, never mind. Ooh, it's between Bucky Irving and Blake Corum.
That's really good because I can't get Bucky Irving to ever get to that pick in the third round. He's always gone.
Bucky. We got Bucky.
Yeah,
that's what I want. Get your jerseys.
I literally take Bucky Irving and the second pick in the second round every time I do it because every time I wait for that dude to get to the third round, the Ravens draft him and he never makes it to me. So lucky for you, he got to you. That's a really good draft.
Blake Corum's still here too. I could get Blake Corum, Bucky Irving, Aaron Jones, and run the freaking triple option if I want.
I don't think Matt LaFleur is going to go for that. It's a good idea though. That's pretty good though, man. That's 3 rounds, right? That's what you did,
Dude,
3 rounds?
My guy Sion Vaki's here from Utah that had to play running back. I love that defense. I love it so much. Let me see really quick though. Cade Stover is still here, but the Packers don't need any more damn tight ends.
No.
Audric Estime is still here. Oh, now that is we're gonna wait on him.
Notre Dame guy over there.
I gotta be honest, Braylon Allen's here.
He normally makes it to the 4th round in my mock drafts that I do.
People are gonna hate me.
That's not surprising.
I'm gonna take Brandon Dorless, defensive lineman from Oregon.
What pick is that? Your second pick in the 3rd?
Yeah. Now we're on round 4, pick 25.
That's good enough. 3 rounds is enough.
Oh, so that's no, hold on. It's not enough yet. That's what I'm saying about this draft. Like that's not enough for these mocks. Anaya Smith is still here, wide receiver out of A&M. In LaFleur's offense, man, like if Jaden Reed's going to become more like wide receiver number 1, he's going to be your kick returner, your punt returner, your gadget guy. This dude is a freaking baller. I love him. This is the pick of the draft right here. He's going to be an all-pro for the Green Bay Packers. We're not done yet. Austin Reed's here. Hey, Sean Clifford, I know Green Bay Packer Camouflage Nation loved you for like 2 preseason games. Pack your bags. Don't even grab a bagel. I hate your guts. Austin Reed, Western Kentucky quarterback. Come on down, baby. Clifford, you could battle for that spot in preseason, but
they are drafted a I don't think they're drafted a quarterback. We're not done yet. No tight ends, no quarterbacks, no punters. They may take a field goal kicker. That wouldn't surprise me. I think Bisaccia would have a heart attack if they did, though.
Hold on. We're not done yet. We got another weapon for Jordan Love. Jordan Whittington from Texas. Come on down, baby. He's going to get open and catch some touchdowns. Here, I got you a tackle. I don't want you to feel left out. Andrew Coker from TCU. Come on down. That's what I'm saying about this draft. I can do this. Tua's brother, baby Tua, right here. Oh, man, Trey Knox. But like I said, you know what? Trevin Wallace from Kentucky. I can see this dude. I'm not even saying he might end up being a Pro Bowler in the right defense. He's coming on down. Let's see. What else do we need here? What else do we need?
Horvat just loves this. I mean, I love it, but you could tell he's like in his place right now. No, I don't want Sam Hartman. No, absolutely not. All right, that's good enough. He is Ryan Horvat. Follow him on Twitter at Ryan Horvat, host of BetMGM Tonight, Sparky Radio here on Twitter. You can follow me, like I said, at Sparky Radio, 1250 AM, thefan.com for all those fine interviews that we do. Of course, the latest one up there, Dave Gasper from Reviewing the Brew, talking about the Brewers' 2 latest signings in Woodruff and Sanchez, talking about the Brewers' starting rotation for opening day, what that may look like, the future of Aaron Ashby. Lots of good stuff there if you go over to 1250 AM, thefan.com, or just hit it up on your Odyssey app, best Brewers coverage, best Packers coverage, best Bucks coverage, whatever. All those interviews are all up in those different categories. Enjoy the rest of your day. Have a good weekend. Toodles.